Steam locomotives in miniature at the Steam Workshop. Reassembly and test running the Lner V1 locomotive. Now that Dave's finished the painting, it's time to refit all the handrails. A very simple job, not even tedious, just very simple. Possibly the worst thing about reassembly of a model locomotive is trying to reassemble it without marking the paint, and believe me, it's very difficult to do. Sometimes spanners slip and screwdrivers slip, and they wouldn't normally when I'm taking the engines apart. This never happens. It only ever happens when I'm putting parts back together. But luckily, in this case, there were no problems. All of these small handrails spanned into position perfectly. The only one I was worried about was this one. This is a fancy one that goes around the bunker tank. And this long handrail, which is bent in two places, needs to be carefully threaded through the handrail stanchion at the back, and then I can fit the other handrail stanchions to the handrail, and everything should be okay. No scratches to the paint, no slipping spanners, and life is wonderful, the birds are singing, and the sun's come out. Well, at least that's the case here at the asylum. I'm always nervous when it gets to the end of a job, because there's something called Sod's Law, Murphy's Law, or generally the chaos theory, and this law states that the last operation of any job will be terrible. It won't work, things won't fit, you'll scratch the paint, and it will be not good at all. But today, this is not so. Everything's gone back together perfectly. This is one of the side tanks that Dave's been painting, and the reason for the masking tape around the top is because the top part of the tank is going to be in a satin black, and the rest of it is going to be in a gloss black. I wondered why they did it this way, so I asked John, and he pointed out that on the full-size locomotive, people would walk on the top of the tanks, so it was easier just to slap on some ordinary black paint without worrying about the gloss. That's all the handrails fitted, so it's time to look at the mechanical sub-assemblies. And this is the injector water valve, or what's left of it. Alas, it is broken, so we'll go up to Blackgate's Engineering and buy a new one and fit it on Friday. I could repair the old one, but it's a bit of a mess. It's been on there for a long time, so it's better to buy a modern replacement unit from Blackgate's Engineering and fit that. And now it's time for the big clean-up. The best way to do this is with a piece of Scotch-Brite and use elbow grease, as in do it by hand. It's a very long and laborious process. I'm physically cleaning off the rust and the grime with a piece of Scotch-Brite. I try and put words on screen which are unusual, because you might not be able to understand what I'm saying with my Yorkshire dialect. Scotch-Brite. During this week, one viewer wrote in and asked me, "What is gum metal?" And I thought, what is he talking about? Gum metal? No, gunmetal. There is a subtle difference. If there was such a word as gum metal, it would have two M's in it. Gunmetal has the word gun put in front of the word metal, and joined together to make gunmetal. Anyway, I hope this clears it up for any viewers who are struggling to understand what I'm saying. I'm really sorry about this if you don't understand the way that I speak, but you have to live in Yorkshire to appreciate it. For these videos, I try and clean up my northern accent, because I do appreciate that I have many viewers in many different countries. Sometimes even I find it difficult to understand, with phrases like, "Hey up, how you doing? My bloody pigeon's buggered off again. I'm off to fetch water at steam engine." Normal service will be resumed as soon as possible. It must be the fumes from the degreaser that I'm using. As a degreaser on the bench, I generally use some stuff called panel wipe, which as far as I'm aware, thanks to the viewers, is really called naphtha. And it really does smell very much like the lighter fluid that I used to put in my Zippo cigarette lighter. But I don't use that anymore as I gave up smoking 5 years ago. After I've thoroughly cleaned and degreased all the bright metal parts on one side of the engine, I sprayed the parts with this stuff. It's just called maintenance spray, and it seems to be an oily liquid that comes out of an aerosol can. I think it's penetrating oil. And it's a good idea to use this stuff just to stop the bright parts from rusting, because once these parts are degreased, there is not the film of oil there to prevent them from going rusty again. Spraying this stuff is quite messy because it runs down the wheels and pours onto the bench, and even though I put some cloths down, it still made a mess of the bench, so I wiped up all the residue, as you can see here, and now it's time to run the engine and see how it goes. While I was doing this job, Dave at the steam workshop was outside steam testing a locomotive using the rolling road, so I just lifted the engine up on some wooden blocks and put some compressed air into the boiler. And this is what happened next. It started to run very beautifully. And it ran very well in both directions. This is backwards, and as I push the reverser forward, the engine starts to go forward. I was puzzled why the engine didn't run as well as this when I tried it before. It was very lumpy and very laboured, and then it dawned on me the brakes were stuck on, and just by cleaning the brake blocks and the wheels and everything and applying the penetrating oil, the brakes freed off, and as you can see, this engine runs absolutely beautifully. There's a nice close-up of the valve gear coming up. I'll stop talking for a while. These parts that I'm currently painting are the balance weights on the wheels. Sometimes they're actually cast into the wheels, and other times they are separate plates that you have to rivet on and fill with lead. I much prefer it if the balance weights are cast in. It takes quite a while to make the balance segments, rivet them in place and fill them with lead. It's much easier with the casting. All you have to do is machine the casting. While cleaning the driving wheels with the Scotch-Brite, some of the paint was removed. And in this section I'm repainting the balance weights using my small paintbrush, being very careful not to get any drips, sags or runs. Generally speaking, by using these very good quality small paintbrushes, I find it very easy to control the flow of the paint with these. And when the paint has dried, you would not think that they'd just been painted. It's a good match with the paint that was already on there. And while I was in paint everything black mode, I thought I would just touch in the bolts that hold the smoke box to the smoke box saddle. And then I turned the engine round and did the other side in exactly the same way, but really I'm not going to show that. I don't wish to be held responsible for any viewers accidentally slipping into a coma. To play the video out, I think I'll run the locomotive again, but I'm not forgetting to spray some penetrating oil on the moving parts that are inside the frames. Before running the engine on steam when it's completed, I will lubricate every one of these moving parts with my extended spout oil can. And that's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful.